This is Inside Badger Football with head coach Trey Schucker. Financial support for Inside Badger Football is provided by Blake Bell of Edward Jones Investments, the accounting firm of Turner, Rogers, Manning, and Plyler, Welch Funeral Home, Austin Wingfield State Farm, Southern Bank Corp., Chad Kesterson Shelter Insurance, Southwest Sporting Goods, Taylor King and Associates, Mary and Martha's Florist and Gifts, Price and Company, Doctors Rob and Gary Rucker, Eccles, Thompson and Kneebone, Clark County Farm Bureau, Dairy Queen, Pediatrics Plus, South Central Connect, Java Primo, Southwest Auto Collection, Midian Digital Creations, Andy's Restaurant of Arkadelphia, and Israel Word Law Farmers Insurance. The host of Inside Badger Football is Chase Hartzell.
Hey there, Badger fans, and welcome to the first episode of this brand new season of Inside Badger Football. I'm your host, Chase Hartzell, and as always, we're joined by Arkadelphia head coach Trey Schucker. Coach Schucker, thanks for coming in today.
Thanks for having me today.
All right, so just started out the brand new 2021 season, but before that, I want to go back to last season. It was a season unlike anything we've ever really experienced in Arkansas high school football. It was your first year here at Arkadelphia. Dealt with a lot of issues relating to COVID, missed even almost a full season or a full month of the season, but still a really solid campaign for the Badgers, going 8-2 and then also making a deep playoff run. So what were some of your main takeaways from your first year here?
You know, the biggest thing was being able to overcome adversity. That on any given day, anything can happen. You don't know who's going to be at practice and who's not. There's just so many factors with that first year. And then now that it's wide open, we're excited to have a full year, hopefully a full year of just normal football and normal season. So it's almost like having a second first year.
Right. And speaking of, first game of the season, first game was against Camden Fairview this past Friday, and we're going to get into that matchup here in just a minute. But How was it to be back in front of the Badger faithful for that first game of the season, especially a home game this year compared to starting on the road last year? Yeah,
so starting off at home in Badger Stadium, it was awesome, getting in front of the home crowd, high expectations for our team and being able to put on a good product on the field. And, it felt normal, and then that's what you want it to feel like. It's always great to play in front of the home crowd.
Right, and now we go into the matchup against Camden Fairview. Not really the way anyone wants to start out the season, with a loss, but this was a very good Camden Fairview team out of the 5A South. This is a team that a lot of people think are going to be contending for that 5A crown, going up against Pulaski Academy and the like. What do you think were some of the things that led to their success?
Yeah, and for one, just like you said, Camden's a really, really good football team. They've got 3 Division I talent players. Both tackles, offensive tackles, have Division I offers. Their starting quarterback has got an Arkansas offer to play baseball. So just 3 Division I talents, and the rest of the team is talented as well. They're a really good football team. They're big, they're fast, they're physical. They're a really good opponent for non-conference.
And despite the ultimate outcome of the loss, there were still some pretty good things to come out of that game, some things to build on for sure going into the season. What were some of the positive takeaways that you had from the game?
Through it all, there was a lot of things that we can take away as positives. And, it really was just 1 or 2 things on every play that kind of threw off our rhythm and just overall kind of stalled us out on some different things. And then later in the game, just the game got to our legs a little bit in the heat. But just 1 or 2 things here and there that we've got to clean up and make better. But really saw a lot of fight out of Braylon Bailey at the end, in that second half. He ran the ball so hard and showed a lot of heart. And, I'd like to see a lot more of that out of him and, the rest of the team. He's a big senior leader for us. Our defense played well early. They're flying to the ball and doing really well and did a lot of really good things. And just the game overall kind of got to us. And we had some two-way players that got a lot of snaps. And, it was just a mixture of things that just kind of got to us. But, we'll be more prepared this week.
And on that note, we're going to go ahead and take a look at some of the highlights from last week's matchup against Camden Fairview. And right off the bat from the opening kickoff, you could tell that the Cardinals were really just flying to the ball all night long.
Yeah, they were, and those special team unit, you can really see how athletic they really are. Their front four are big. Camden's always going to have a big front line. They're big, they're physical, they're athletic, and they really got after us early in our run game. But overall, I thought our pass pro was solid for the most part all night. Big testament to those guys up front. We've got some experience on our front line, so really feel good about those guys.
And we talked about Witten coming into the season. I think his arm was heavily advertised coming out of that benefit matchup against Lake Hamilton, but how about his legs in this matchup with over 80 rushing yards?
Yeah, so Donovan, he's a good athlete himself. He's a big, strong kid, got a big arm, but he's also got an athletic body to get downfield and use his legs.
And so here on the following series, the defense did a great job on this first drive of really getting pressure on that Camden offense.
Yeah, so we really came out flying to the football and did a great job of wrapping up and getting to the ball and getting the ball on the ground. And at this point, we felt really good at where we're at. And we're, like you see right here, we've got a lot of blue jerseys getting to the football and a lot of gang tackles, and that's what we want. That's what we want to do the whole game. So we felt really good at this point.
And then here was a moment that probably turned the tide quite a bit. This was the punt right here, good kick from Camden, and then ball muffed right here, Camden able to recover. And mistakes like that are just going to happen in the early season.
Yeah, and we'd like for him not to, but our player right there is newer to that unit, and we didn't do a good enough job in making sure that he knew or understood what his role was right there, and he's just trying to play aggressive, and you can't blame a kid for trying to play aggressive and trying to do the right thing. So right there, they were able to get the ball back and went down and scored.
And right there, the missed PAT, that made the score 6-0, and now the following kickoff right here. And again, just a great job by Camden getting to the ball. They had their eyes on the ball all night long and made some great plays, but also Witten countering and making some great plays himself.
Yeah, so right there is a really good catch and throw by our receiver and quarterbacks. Right here, we start getting a little bit of a rhythm going. Went to the jet sweep right here with Braylon Bailey. Did a great job of getting upfield, getting us some yards on first down. Another throw and catch. So right here we see we're getting some rhythm going to our offense. We're moving the football. We're doing things right. Just getting the ball in space. And we're not trying to hit anything deep right now. We're just trying to get the ball out in space and keep the ball moving forwards.
And Camden did a great job on these first few series, locking down on defense, especially on fourth down, forced a couple of turnover on downs, but Arkadelphia would have managed to break through a little bit later on. But now we look at the Camden offense again, and again the defense is doing a great job of getting to the ball and making it a tough time for the Cardinals.
Yeah, our defense played really, really well early. We felt really good about it. We feel really good about our defense overall. Those guys over there fly to the football. We want to be a physical defense. We want to be loud. We want to communicate well and understand our roles. We get the ball back right here. Strong run by Jay Sean. Great job up front, getting a good push. We go back to it.
And it seemed like Jay Sean was getting stronger as the half went along, and he was getting better blocks downfield. So we saw a few breakout run plays, including this one right here by Witten. That would be one of 3 plays, I believe, that he had that went for 10 or more yards on the ground.
Yeah, so he's got that ability to be able to tuck and go and get downfield. He's a big body. He's like 215 pounds, I think. Here it is again. Just getting positive yards. That's all we're looking to do right here. We're going up against a really athletic defense, and this play right here was probably one of the biggest game-changing plays of the night. Unfortunately, it was in the first quarter, but sent a corner blitz and took it out of our quarterback's hand and was able to take it back to the house for them. And unfortunate play is really what it is, an unfortunate play.
And so now the score is 13-0, still in the first quarter, and a solid return here on special teams.
Yeah, that was Braylon Bailey. I thought he had a really great night overall in all aspects of the game. Another big run by Jay-Sean Davis. Donovan able to extend the play and make a play with his legs and get the ball out. Really big catch right there by Tripp. And then here we felt like we can finally take a shot, and we do, and we get a really good connect for a touchdown with Alex Lloyd.
And with the PAT, the score becomes 13-7 Camden Fairview, so the game's still well within reach. And here comes Camden on the special teams return right here. This is a good return, taking the ball all the way up near midfield.
Yeah, we just kind of overran the ball in a couple different spots on our kickoff coverage. That's one of the things that we've got some new guys on. So this was a really good game to get to do that. We didn't get to do our live special teams in our benefit game. So this was a really good game to get some learning experience on those special teams units.
And a great pass there from quarterback Martavius Johnson, extending the lead to 20-7. Now we go to the kickoff on the following drive. And again, just a great job for most of the night by Camden Fairview on special teams as well, just getting to the ball and preventing those big returns.
Yeah, they're athletic. They're fast. They're going to cover distance really quickly.
And again, Witten finding the space and getting a great run there, picking up the first down for the Badgers. He did face quite a bit of pressure from that front line, though, throughout the night.
Yeah, as the night went on, you can see that Camden was able to kind of take advantage of the momentum that they had. It's right there, really good job. We got 6 guys right there at the ball making a tackle or finishing at the play. And you see a lot of blue jerseys get to the ball, and that's what we're wanting. Camden did a really good job of just taking what we gave them. We didn't want to give up big plays, so they were just taking those short throws early. See right here, Martavius, phenomenal athlete. He's got a Division I offer to play baseball at Arkansas. He's got a really good arm, but he's also an extremely good athlete. You see him again right here getting out. That was one of the things that we didn't do a great job of overall was containing him. He did make some plays with his legs.
And something that we're seeing with every few plays is that Camden did have a bit of a problem with penalties throughout the night.
They did, and I felt like we didn't take advantage of them in a lot of situations, but right here we did. Really good strike again to Alex Lloyd.
And with the PAT drawing within 6 points is now 20-14 Camden Fairview. We're still in the first half. And again here we're going to see the speed on display. They had some just absolutely great plays on special teams, setting up their offense in good field position.
Yeah, so right there we just didn't get down the field quick enough. The return before we overran, and then this one we didn't get down the field and get to our spots fast enough. Camden's a really good team. Their offense moves the ball well. They've got 2 Division I tackles, and they did a great job in their run game, and then they did a really good job in their passing game with just taking those short throws and dink and dunk us down the field. You see right here, once they get close to the end zone, it's tough to stop when you've got that big of a front, big, strong, physical front line.
And it seemed like they were running a tandem for a lot of the night. They'd bring in one running back to set up those big plays, and then once you get down in the red zone near the goal line, you bring in the power back to try and punch it in.
Yeah, they've got about 2 or 3 backs that they like to use, and they all have different capabilities. They've got their speed, they've got their power, and they've got their more of their versatile back. And this play right here would be the end of the first half. So
still within reach, 27-14, Camden Fairview. Now we start off with the first drive of the second half, and again, Thomas, it just seemed like he got stronger and stronger on the ground as the game went along.
He did. He's a Division I talent, and he's just a really good athlete.
And a good run there from McGee getting to the outside. Camden moving the ball well here. But again, the defense doing a great job of getting pressure. That was a great blitz there, picking up the sack.
See, that was, they're trying to make a big play right there and go down the field deep. And, our secondary did a great job of covering receivers, and then we were able to get enough pressure on him to get him down. Right here, we didn't contain very well. He's one of those quarterbacks that at any time he can tuck it and get out and hurt you. Donovan really good getting out of the pocket, using his legs to extend plays, then finding receivers downfield.
Right, and he's not afraid to roll out of the pocket and even throw across his body. He made some great plays on the run throughout the night.
Yes, he did. He's a big, strong quarterback himself that can run a little bit. This was one that I wish he would have ran, and he does too. And that was just a learning experience that when you're that close to the first down marker, let's just get the first down first, and then we'll be able to move on. So
now Camden with the ball again, and this is a great play here. Going across the field and then picking up the extra yardage, did a great job of evading the defenders, gets past midfield and deep into enemy territory. He's going to finally be taken down inside the red zone, but just a great play there by the Cardinals.
Yeah, it's any time that that running back gets out in space, he's tough.
So Camden forcing a 3-and-out here, but a great play on special teams, had a line drive kick, touched Camden, and Badgers were able to recover.
Yeah, so this is something I thought that we could get some momentum going. We were able to get the ball back right there, and just the athleticism from their defensive front is phenomenal. They're big and strong. Really good punt right here by Donovan, not allowing a return.
And again, another play right here where the speed and the athleticism just comes into play. The Cardinals able to use it to their advantage all night long, and they were able to get some big plays, including another great play here by Thomas, able to get to the outside and pick up the first down for his team. And again, we have a power back situation here, able to shake off the tackle, and it's another score for Camden Fairview into the end zone. PAT right here makes it 41-21 Cardinals in the third quarter. But the Badgers still aren't going to go down without a fight, and we talked about it before this. Braylon Bailey had a great second half, over 100 yards rushing on the night.
Yeah, so this is, really showed a lot of heart by Braylon Bailey. I was so happy to see him able to come back on the field and run the ball the way he did and try to make something happen. And, in situations like this, when we're needing something, that's what leaders do, and he's one of those guys that we can look to make a play.
And the defense still fighting, even though it had been depleted by some injuries, and played with some cramps throughout the second half, but this team just continued to fight.
Yeah, and that's what I want to see overall. In a situation where our back's against the wall, I want to see guys that go try to make a play, try to make something happen, and try to get us back into the game. And I thought overall that's what we did, and I thought there was a lot of things moving forwards in that aspect. So right here, that close to the goal line, just an unfortunate play. And Donnie being able to continue the play with his legs right here, really thought he was going to get in. Just kind of stumbled over a line. And then Braylon Bailey with a strong run, just didn't have enough to get it in. When you get that close, you've got to be able to punch it in.
And just a good defensive stand there by Camden Fairview. Chance for the Badgers to get within 2 scores. But here, one of the more positive highlights of late in the second half, a great interception there off of Thomas.
Yeah, so, this is late in the fourth, and they're still trying to throw the ball and make plays, and really good job right there.
And Bailey,
Get us the
again,
ball
just
back.
playing to the whistle. He was not going down without a fight, and he had a great game, and he just kept fighting. Despite what the scoreboard showed, he was going to go till the very end.
That's exactly right. I want to see more of that moving forward and early, and that's really big testament to him. He's a senior, and we rely on him a lot in a lot of situations. Offense, special teams, defense. He's on every unit that we have, and for that reason, he's an athletic guy that can make plays.
Yeah. And your final score in that one was Camden Fairview 41, Arkadelphia 21. And with that, we're going to take a look at some of the scores from around the conference. It was a rough night for the 7-4A, only winning 2 of 5 matchups. We'll first look at that matchup between Pulaski Academy and Robinson. Of course, Pulaski Academy, the defending champions out of the 5A, one of the powerhouses of Central Arkansas. Robinson, a powerhouse in their own right, but this time the Bruins coming up with a big victory. It's going to be 60-28, your final score. Then you look at Ashdown. Ashdown with a big win to open up the season over Hamburg. The Panthers win that one 37-7. And how about this, Nashville, a team that you're usually going to see competitive in just about any game they play. They went to Pleasant Grove, Texas for a non-conference bout this weekend. And it was rough going for the Scrappers from the start. They ended up losing that one 58-0, getting shut out against a very good Pleasant Grove team. And then finally, to close out the scoreboard, you have the Bauxite Miners picking up the victory over Riverview 35-7. So really just kind of a rough night around the conference. And in that non-conference schedule, of course, this is a tough conference that's going to pick tough opponents in that non-conference schedule. Just a really rough night across the board.
That's right. And, in the 7-4A, you kind of have to schedule some tough non-conference games. So in those matchups, a lot of those matchups are really, really good matchups, some really good teams. PA, the Texas team's a really, really good team. And then, Camden. Those are really good football programs, and all 3 of those teams are going to win a lot of games this year. So it's really good to schedule those games in those non-conference to prepare for our type of conference. It's the SEC of 4A, and we want to schedule those games that are going to prepare us for the season.
Yep, and really tough opponent in Camden Fairview, who is looking to have a great season this year, coming out of that tough 5A South Conference, but they're looking to even win that conference and perhaps even go after that state title, make a trip to Little Rock. This is a team that's had a lot of talent over the years, but I will say this, in the 6 years that I've been covering this team, this is the strongest Cardinal squad I've ever seen.
I would agree, and I would not be surprised if you hear their name late in the season.
Yep. And speaking of the 5A South, we go to next week's matchup, making the Odyssey to Troy for a game against Hot Springs. Now, Hot Springs won their game 52-7 last week, and they always pose a tough threat out there out of the 5A South. Always like to play the spoiler in the 5A South too. Even if they're not necessarily contending for that title, they can take someone out of contention. So my question is, going into their territory, going on that road game, how do you get ready for a game like that in hostile territory, especially the first game of the season?
Yeah, so Hot Springs they won big in their game, so they feel good. They're going to have some confidence, and it's at them at their house, so it's going to be a tough environment. But to win championships, you got to win on the road, and it's one of those games that's going to battle test us for conference and playoffs. So Hot Springs is going to be a good game for us. We're excited to get back on the field and get an opportunity to improve on what happened this past week, and we're ready to get back to practice and get back to work.
Are there any matchups or tendencies you have circled going into that one that you're going to put special emphasis on, or you just?
Well, not yet.
Well, it is going to be a great matchup there in Hot Springs. Friday night, 7 p.m., and you can catch that game right here on ArkadelphiaBadgerTV.com. I think that's just about going to do it for this week's episode. Coach Schucker, thanks for joining us again, and we'll have you in here next week to recap the game against the Hot Springs Trojans.
Thanks for having me. Go Badgers.
Go Badgers.
Financial support for Inside Badger Football is provided by Blake Bell of Edward Jones Investments, the accounting firm of Turner, Rogers, Manning, and Plyler, Welch Funeral Home, Austin Wingfield State Farm, Southern Bank Corp, Chad Kesterson Shelter Insurance, Southwest Sporting Goods, Taylor King and Associates, Mary and Martha's Florist and Gifts, Price and Company, Doctors Rob and Gary Rucker, Eccles, Thompson, and Kneebone. Clark County Farm Bureau. Dairy Queen. Pediatrics Plus. South Central Connect. Java Primo. Southwest Auto Collection. Midian Digital Creations. Andy's Restaurant of Arkadelphia. And Israel Word Law Farmers Insurance. Inside Badger Football is produced weekly by Ouachita Baptist University's Rogers Department of Communications and the Ouachita Sports Digital Network.